entertainment news with too many hosts with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and a third one is
Kyle Bridger. I did not prepare for this again because I'm a terrible human being, but I will say that I am the Critics' Choice Awards to John's Oscars to Dave's Golden Globes.
Oh, I knew you were going to do it. I don't even want to be associated in the same sentence with the Golden Globes right now. Not only for the crazy picks that they had, which we talked about weeks before, but they're still in a lot of hot water for some of their practices. And hopefully we can just completely throw out the Golden Globes years to come and focus on the Oscars, because that's where the real glitz and glamour and the prestige is. The Oscars, and we got the nominations. They're in. They're a little bit later this year, but we have them finally, and we will break down the nominations tonight. And then we will also go back to Hulu's The Great. We got the middle episodes here, episodes 4 through 6. We're catching up on season 1. We're going to catch up on those 3 episodes. A lot to do tonight. We got to jump into the show. So, John, help me out. What is this for a segment?
In and Out Points.
In oder out. In oder out. In, out.
Yes, it is. It is in and out points. Let's see here. Last May, HBO Max launched with a $14.99 price tag. That was the price per month for HBO Max. But in June, customers will have a cheaper option, but it will come with a catch. We don't have the price yet for this option, but this version will be ad-supported. John, you're shaking your head. You don't want the ad-supported HBO Max for a cheaper price?
No, I mean, I guess I'm biased because, again, I get HBO Max because my parents have HBO. So I'm not paying for it either way, but I really hate the ad-supported tier. It feels to me like the worst of both worlds. If I'm already ponying up to pay, I'm kind of in the boat where I'd probably pay more not to have ads if it's an option, begrudgingly, but probably would. I'm not a fan of the ad tier because it's, sure, it's ad-supported, but then you're sitting there watching the same ad 4 times. Yeah. Sometimes it's an ad, something else, and then the same ad you just watched, and it's just like, it's not worth my time and my headache.
I wouldn't mind ads if there were new ads, or as Kyle knows how irked I get with this, if they were mixed properly, so I wouldn't have to hit the mute button every time because my eardrums are being blown out because I'm listening to the show, and then it's like, quick check summer, and it's just, okay, turn it down.
They want you to buy stuff, man. They want you to buy it, and they want you to buy it now.
Yeah, well, I don't know what kind of ads we're going to get on the HBO Max, but Kyle, are you going to be interested in the HBO Max ad-supported version for a cheaper price?
No, I would rather just watch my stuff without commercials. Once you go without commercials, it's hard to go back. I mean, it just makes everything, first off, shorter, which is much better because we all got stuff to do and I want to watch my stuff and be done with it, right? But I feel like this is just paving a way back, and I hate to say it, but our corporate overlords always find a way to get what they want. This just feels like streaming services are turning into cable, and then we'll find a way to mix ads back in. And then before you know it, not only are you paying for the subscription service, but now you're paying for the ads too. Mm-hmm. So it feels like a slippery slope back into ads anyways. So, I mean, I know with something like Peacock, I'm pretty sure that they show ads in between, like when they're going from like a soccer match to the halftime show. Sometimes they'll leave out commercials, but then sometimes they'll keep them in. So it's like, what are we doing? I'm paying for this. Why do I get ads anyways?
I know with even just like YouTube TV, I'll be watching something and then it's the commercial break comes along and it's live TV. Of course there's going to be commercials, but then they don't show the ad. They show like the logo of the channel. It's like, we'll be right back. Like they just don't show. I don't know if whatever, we're not in the right market or what, but it's like there's 30 seconds of advertising. Could we Dual Redundancy get on this? Like, if you're just going to show the network logo, show us at least. But
what's the price breakdown for the actual channel? Do we know how much it costs to get that channel? And like the actual HBO channel doesn't have ads, if I remember correctly, correct?
No. From what I know of the actual HBO channel, if you were watching it, sometimes they would slip in promos and commercials and trailers for their upcoming projects just to like finish out the hour to make it so things are starting at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And then whenever you go on HBO Max, of course, you're going to see like a 30-second thing for whatever new show is coming out. But
I'm okay with promos for a new show because I'm learning about more stuff that they're going to show. When it's like, come on down and buy this for $19.99. I can't. No.
You're brushing your teeth wrong. Buy the new toothbrush.
Yeah, it's like, but if you want to tell me what you have on the docket, I'm more than willing to check it out in 30 seconds and be like, hey, I kind of want to check that out.
Especially because they usually have a skip button.
Yeah. And I will say though, we're talking about HBO Max or HBO titles, the ads that we're talking about are going to be throughout programming, except for the HBO titles and shows. So like the classic HBO Sopranos and The Wire, you're not all of a sudden going to get an ad break, in between whatever is seen in The Sopranos. It's going to be the Big Bang Theory reruns that they have going on, or the new shows that they come out with commercial breaks. They're not going to add into the HBO titles. And the other caveat with this cheaper option is that whole same day theatrical release thing we've been talking about with Wonder Woman, Little Things, Judas and the Black Messiah. You're not getting that with the ad supported version. You're not getting those movies. So if you want those movies throughout 2021, you got to upgrade to the $15 version.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, that is sad. But I would just say at this point, Netflix, I think, is close to $15, if not more now. And I think they have the products better than Netflix. And I think it's worth it at this point.
Better movies, better library of shows, better selection. They have so much going on HBO Max. If I had to choose one service, it'd probably be this. I am not like worried about this because, again, I just said how great it is to have all these different things at your fingertips. Sometimes I wonder if they're like diluting the HBO brand, just because you got Big Bang Theory next to The Sopranos. Like you have these shows, it's like, are these on the same caliber of when you put the HBO logo on something, you expect certain things. You have expectations. That's like, okay, they only pick like, 2 or 3 shows to have going at a time. They must be the best of the best. And now you're mixing in ads, and it's just like, oh, you're just becoming another cable channel, and it's that's what's a little worrisome. But let's see here. I had this one quote I wanted to read off from the Warner Media CEO talking about the $15 price tag. He said it may be off-putting to some customers and noted, quote, most people on this planet are not wealthy. And if we, quote, do things elegantly through advertising to reduce the price of a service, I think that's a fantastic thing for fans. So yeah, we're not wealthy. We're not all wealthy, so
that is
more fair anyway.
All right. Well, one of the things on HBO Max coming this Thursday is Zack Snyder's 4-hour redo of the Justice League. And well, if you were lucky, or I don't know, if you were unlucky, last Monday you got a sneak preview of it when you were trying to watch Tom and Jerry. Looks like for some reasons unknown, when users attempted to play the family film Tom and Jerry, Justice League started to play instead. Whoops. Kyle, what happened here?
I wish I knew what happened. I wish I knew how this happens with like, this is supposed to be their big thing. And how are they mixing up with Tom and Jerry? It's like, did somebody miss like a closed bracket somewhere in the HTML file? Like, how does this happen? I just don't even, I don't even know.
They put Snyder next to Tom, and that's they clicked the wrong thing.
Yeah. I don't know how this happened, and I will be a little bit of a conspiracy theorist here. Was this on purpose? Was this to drum up publicity? Because there was all these articles like, oh, guess what, super fans, you had a chance to watch it. Like it builds that buzz. Oh, it's coming out soon. It's just like,
but why attach it to Tom and Jerry?
Well, I think that was just
what
because
is
it was
the crossover for Tom and Jerry?
Yeah,
and
convenient time that it was coming
I think
out.
it was like the popular one of the week, because that was the HBO Max title that was launching this month. So it's like, okay, if it was last month, they would have done it with Judas and the Black Messiah. If it was the month before, it would have been the little things. It's like everyone was turning to, you can't just put it on some like random movie like on their service. It's like Class Action Park, and it's like, wait, why is this?
Yeah.
I mean, who's clicking it? Like that one person's going to discover it. But HBO Max said the error was addressed within minutes. But Doug Bass of North Carolina, however, said he was able to access it for an hour before they cut it off. He said, quote, "I just wanted to put on Tom and Jerry for background noise while I worked, and instead of that, I watched an hour of an amazing movie."
I wonder if he was partway through, if they cut him off. That would be even worse.
I think it's just like shut off like after like the hour, like it was like an error message. But yeah.
Wow, dude. That's wild. I mean, you could be right, Dave. This could be conspiracy theory. This one could check out, but I just feel like more often than not, it's probably just somebody messed up.
Yeah. And if you actually like hit pause or anything, it would say Tom and Jerry like on the screen, like how it says on the side. So like it wasn't like a file thing. It was like they just put this media asset with this for at least a little bit here. And
I just wish it was like almost like a Be Kind Rewind situation where it's like
the Tom and Jerry
remake of
or it was the Snyder version of Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Crossover episode.
But
all right. Well, I'm still waiting for one of these films to get on HBO Max, but it might be a little bit here. Tenet. I'm waiting for Tenet. It's finally playing though on the big screen in New York City. If you're brave enough to go out and see it, it's on the big screen finally. Or for one user, it's also playing on the small screen, his Game Boy Advance. In the latest entry in the Experiencing Cinema the Way Directors Wanted series, YouTuber Bob Wolf decided to put the movie on a Game Boy Advance cartridge. So it's on the little, I think they actually had to use 5 of them to fit the movie. John, what do you think about this here, converting the movie to get it to play on a Game Boy Advance?
I think it's hilarious. I mean, it's a little bit of a take on the director being so stingy about where his stuff played and not for home consumption and all that. I think it's kind of funny, but yeah. I mean, the Game Boy video tech is a very interesting one. There's a lot of videos taking apart how they fit, episodes of Rugrats or Pokemon or all that stuff onto these Game Boy cartridges, limiting the number of colors, limiting the frame rate, limiting the bit rate and all these different things. So I think it's kind of cool. It's a nice exercise in technology, and I suppose as long as he isn't selling it, it's probably gonna fly under the radar. I think the second he tries to sell it to somebody, he's in some big duty. But I don't know. I think it's just a cool little tech exercise myself.
Yeah, I definitely. I love how it's like so random. It's like a Game Boy Advance. I actually just got my Game Boy Advance. My mom found it, moving things around. She brought it down to me last time I saw her, and so I have my Game Boy Advance now. So if Bob Wolf wants to give me Tenet, I'm willing to watch it on that. The thing I love about this so much is in this article he said he, quote, did this out of spite. So this is a spite game here, a spite movie tactic. Like he's kind of saying, you know what, Chris Nolan, this is the way to watch your cinematic masterpiece. Kyle, I believe you saw Tenet. I haven't seen Tenet yet. Would it play better on a Game Boy Advance? What do you think?
Maybe it'll make more sense on a Game Boy Advance. I don't know. I got to rewatch Tenet. I didn't understand anything that was happening.
You think you didn't understand it because of the mix before? Imagine when it's compressed and all this. You're not going to hear anybody.
Yeah, it's compressed down to, let's see, it was 192 by 128 resolution. It plays 6 frames per second. Again,
Oh my God.
they had to put the 2.5-hour movie on a five cartridges. So I mean, it's probably not the best quality. It's very blurry even on a
This is
Game Boy Advance
this is like
screen,
when
but-
they had the Green Mile on like VHS, and it was like 3 tapes long, and you're like having to keep switching out. But no, I love that it's a big FU to Christopher Nolan, because honestly, they talk about being in the theaters and watching this, or how that's how you should watch it. Dude, the mix in general is trash anyways for a lot of his movies. So why don't the consumers get to dictate how
I want to watch it.
how we want to watch it? I think that should be the case. And if you want to make your movie for the cinephiles, for the 2,000 people that'll watch it, go for it, and just, be angry that the viewers don't care anymore about the cinematic experience and all this la 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 stuff. And it's just like, let us just watch how we want to watch, because at the end of the day, a lot of this we'll watch at home on our own TV with whatever Vizio or Samsung or whatever the hell they have set up. So
at the end of the day, these filmmakers, as much as I love the theater going experience, it plays for a short time in theaters. The majority of a film's life is on home entertainment, whether it's your home TV or Dark is watching it on a plane, or it's on cable, whatever it is. That's where it like lives its life. So it should be formatted for that, not for the 3 months it might be in theaters, especially during a pandemic. But I don't know. I'll get around to it eventually. I am glad at some point I can watch it and I can be able to turn it up, put the subtitles on. So, because again, I've heard the mix is just
you had to get
atrocious.
the 5.1 system and just crank that center channel where all the dialogue is.
There you go. That might have to. All right. Well, one last in and out point tonight. A lot of awards to talk about. And one night before the Oscars will be the 41st Razzies, the Golden Raspberry Awards. We got the nominations here for the worst in film. 365 Days and Doolittle led the pack with 6 nominations. Both of these are up for Worst Picture alongside Absolute Proof, Fantasy Island, and the Golden Globe nominated music. All right. Any of you guys see any of these worst films of the year?
What was the first one you mentioned?
365 Days, Doolittle, Absolute Proof, Fantasy Island, music.
I don't even know any of the names beside music because it was Golden Globe nominated.
I saw Fantasy Island. It's not good. It's the premise is there. It's interesting, but it's not well executed at all. Yeah, I think it's like Lucy Hale's in it, and it's like they go to an island, and it's like whatever your fantasy is, they like recreate it on the island because the island's like, so like, oh, I want to get back at this bully, I want to do this, and it's just like it's there. But yeah, Doolittle in here. I think that would have been even a bigger bomb if it wasn't for right before the pandemic and just being in theaters. And but Absolute Proof, that's the Michael Lindell like conspiracy theory election thing.
Oh God. Oh my God.
And he's also up for worst actor. Michael Lindell, the My Pillow guy, as himself.
Does he know it?
I mean, I'm sure he's going to refute it with a 2-3 hour documentary. Speaking of people that like to refute things, Rudy Giuliani is up for, I think, worst actor or worst supporting actor in Borat subsequent movie film. He's also there for worst screen combo with Maria Bakalova. The two of them there got worst screen combo. But yeah, not great for those guys. They're Golden Raspberry nominated. I don't know if you guys seen the list. Is there any films that you think should have been on the list from the last year? The worst films of the year? Anything?
The worst films.
Because it's always tough. Because there's definitely films we watch where like, oh, that was bad. But like worst films has to actually be like, okay, it's so bad. It's like just
special.
Yeah, it's like it's Cats. It's like what happened? This is a train wreck. Because it's like, okay, that just didn't work. Just didn't click. But
I also think there's stuff that's meant to kind of be bad that achieves that, and there's stuff that like is supposed to be this grand, like great thing, and just like bombs. And I think this is more the bomb than the like, aiming for bad, So
yeah, like
it's
this
tough.
is the one with like high profile people, Robert Downey Jr. and stuff like that, that just didn't connect and just didn't work at all, despite the names. We did actually see one of the films that's nominated for Worst Sequel and Worst Supporting Actress. Wonder Woman 1984 is up for that, and Kristen Wiig is Worst Supporting Actress nominated.
No. No. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know any offhand terrible movies that I saw. Because if I hear they're terrible, I usually stick away. I keep away. That's the thing.
Yeah, one of the interesting things with the Razzies this year is one of Kristen Wiig's co-nominees in the Worst Supporting Actress category is somewhat historic here, because not only was Glenn Close nominated here for Hillbilly Elegy as one of the worst performances of the year, she was also nominated yesterday for an Oscar in the exact same role.
Gotta love it.
What a year.
Love it.
I think that's a perfect transition to talk about the Oscars tonight. I pulled up a sound clip here to help lead us into anytime we talk now about the Oscars.
I think you're looking at an Academy Award nomination also.
Did he just say what I thought he said?
What? Yes, Victor!
Oscars. I smell Oscars.
You see what a little buzz can do in this town?
I predicted it. I said this is the one. This is the vehicle. Morley, you told me not to do it.
All right, the 93rd Academy Awards. For the record, if you guys haven't seen For Your Consideration, a Christopher Guest film there, that's what the sound clip is from. Definitely check it out, because it just shows how just dumb Academy Awards and buzz and all that stuff is. But you know what? I still end up talking about it. I still end up love talking about the Oscar nominations. And yesterday, March 15th, we got the nominees for the ceremony that will take place on April 25th. Let's see here. Mank led the pack with 10 nominations, followed by 6 films with 6 nominations apiece. And they are The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Nomadland, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. All those films I just mentioned, plus Promising Young Woman, are your Best Picture nominees. All right, here. What do you think? What do you think of this list, Kyle? These 8 nominees for Best Picture.
I mean, those are the names that have kind of been going around. I still need to see Promising Young Woman, which I'm pretty excited about watching. But everything else, I think, has been on the list. I have no desire to see The Father, though.
Me too.
I don't know why we do this. Why do we nominate these films? It's just so frustrating.
No interest, because I've for the last whatever year since college, I've pretty much seen at least all the Best Picture nominees. Mm-hmm. And now this year, it's like, I was doing so good. I saw films that didn't make the cut that are in the acting categories. I'm well ahead, and then I see The Father, and I'm like, how am I going to see this? It's not even out yet. Like, able to purchase it for VOD. Like, how am I going to even attempt to see this one? Like, but I don't know. I might give myself an asterisk this year, because it's like, this year is just crazy. I mean, Dark in the chat is saying the Oscars is bull something. Can't say the full thing, but it is a weird year. It is a very weird year. I will say overall, it's still a good list of films. I'm very excited to see Minari. I'm very excited to see Promising Young Woman. I enjoyed a lot of these. I enjoyed. I didn't like this year. I don't have like one that I like
stand
loved.
out. Yeah.
There's no like thing that's like, I'm putting everything in this one. I need, this is my Parasite. This is whatever. I don't have that here. I enjoyed Sound of Metal. I think The Trial of Chicago 7 gets too much hate online. Been seeing a lot of backlash recently about how it doesn't. It's fine. It's a fine film. Get out of here.
It is fine. I just don't. Aaron Sorkin, it just rubs me the wrong way. I mean, he just seems like an elitist prick. And I mean, yeah. So I can understand it, but the film's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, in the year that we had in the top 10 or whatever, okay, sure. why not? I definitely think it should be there. Let's see. We are missing 2 slots actually. There is 8 films nominated for Best Picture. Anything that should be there. Looking at some of the lists, a lot of people expected these maybe. If you look at the ones that also got a lot of nominations, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom got 5. One Night in Miami got 3 nominations. Anything that should have maybe made the top 10 of the year
for Best Picture?
Yeah, that didn't get it.
I don't see Borat. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Borat, we'll talk about it in a little bit. It did get 2 other nominations for screenplay and acting. I mean, the Producers Guild, when they named their 10 films of the year, they had Borat in the top 10.
I guess the surprise would be Defy Bloods not getting anything.
Yeah,
but I'm fine with it being left off, but I can say it's probably maybe a little bit surprising on that end because it did have a lot of steam when it first came out.
Yeah, I just wonder if because it came out in June and the nominations are 2 months later than usual this year, that it's like a really long time to kind of sustain that buzz. But yeah, still a solid 8 films nominated here. Let's talk about some of the surprises. I have a list of things here. I think the biggest surprise of the day, a well-deserved surprise, but still a surprise nonetheless, is Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah. He's up for Best Supporting Actor alongside his co-star Daniel Kaluuya. They're in the same category here. Everyone has kind of been feeling the buzz for Daniel Kaluuya. He's been winning a lot of awards up to this point for supporting actor, but to have Lakeith Stanfield also in this category, what do you think of that, Kyle?
I mean, it's surprising. Who's the lead in this film then? That's the problem. I mean, I'm going to guess that because they have to put themselves in for nominations, right? Where they get nominated. Am I correct?
It's kind of confusing. I have a quote from Scott Feinberg of The Hollywood Reporter, kind of comparing this to the other awards. He says, unlike the SAG Awards, Screen Actors Guild, where a studio's category preference is automatically accepted, or the Golden Globes, where a studio's category preference is either approved or overturned before nomination voting, members of the Academy's acting branch decide for themselves which category a performer belongs in. So in a lot of the other awards, like SAG and Golden Globes, the studio says, we're campaigning this person for Best Actor, Supporting Actor. We make the decisions of where things are. But I guess with the Academy and their acting branch, they decide for themselves. So it's quite possible that Lakeith Stanfield got some votes in Best Actor. We might have also gotten some votes in Best Supporting Actor. Obviously, he did to get a nomination there, but he just had more in that category. Same with Daniel Kaluuya. He could have gotten some votes for Best Actor. Who knows? But he got the most in Supporting Actor. And at the end of the day, you can only have one. He mentions in the article in 1944, one actor was actually nominated in both categories. And they're like, oh, we got to make a rule here. Just because you get votes in both categories, you can only get one nomination total.
Yeah.
But
I'm just wondering if there's something to be said. I mean, we have to think that Chadwick Boseman, just the situation at hand, would be the front runner for this win.
He would be in Best Actor.
Yes. So I'm saying Lakeith Stanfield, maybe it's more beneficial for that film to have the two in that category, so that maybe the thinking is that one of them will win, because I think they both gave powerful performances. And based on what I've seen of the other nominees, I would say they both have the best shot of winning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that I feel like Lakeith should be in Best Actor because he was the lead, and get represented that way. And that if Daniel Kaluuya wins, that it doesn't come at the expense of his supporting actor.
You always worry. We always talk about it. Who knows if it's true? But the vote split, you got 2 people from the same film in the same category. If Is that going to split any votes now for Daniel Kaluuya, who was the front runner in this category?
I mean, it really could. I mean, to me, it really could because they both gave really, really good
It's tougher
performances.
competition now, yeah. And yeah, the joke online is like, well, then who's the lead? If both Judas and the Black Messiah, the two title characters, are supporting, then who was the lead of the film? Like Jesse Plemons? Yeah. Like, who was the person? Because, and I will agree with you, Kyle. Lakeith Stanfield is the lead of the film. We follow his character. He's the focus of the story. Daniel Kaluuya at points is not in the film. He's off doing something else. He's not there. So I think the story is definitely Lakeith's story. We see it from beginning, middle, and end. So he's the lead actor. But hey, it's great that he's nominated. Definitely great that he's nominated. Deserves the nomination. And I am also happy to see in this category Paul Raci for Sound of Metal. I thought that was a quieter performance, but a great performance. And so I'm glad to see him in supporting actor. I wasn't sure if he was going to make it in the top 5.
Which one was he in the Sound of Metal?
He was like kind of Riz Ahmed's mentor there at the home.
Oh, okay. That is cool that he was nominated. That's good.
Yeah. Let's see other surprises. I think another surprise for a lot of people was in the directing category. Another Round, the director of that film, Thomas Vinterberg, made it into the top 5. I don't think many people had him on the list because it's unique for a director of an international film to be featured in this category. I mean, it's possible. Last year, Bong Joon-ho was in this category, but one of 5.
I don't know if we're hearing much about this film, right?
Yeah. I don't know too much about it. I know it's nominated in the international film category. Mads Mikkelsen is the star. I love Mads Mikkelsen. But again, I just don't think people were expecting that. I think many people thought it was the names we've been hearing. Aaron Sorkin. He's been all over.
Yeah.
Regina King even, for One Night in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people were caught off guard by Vinterberg. And it's the same thing from the Globes where it's like, oh, we're all excited that finally multiple women are nominated in this category, which is great, but also really sad that like you have to.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? In 93 years, we finally have 2 women nominated. It's like, okay, like 9 years later, like, gotta catch up. We got some catch up to do here, but guess how many have won? I think 1. I'm pretty sure it's 1. So like, So
was that Catherine Hardwicke?
Is that her name? Bigelow, I think.
Catherine Bigelow. That's what I mean. Oh, geez, I just did a faux pas. I got her name wrong. Oh my gosh, the only woman director to win.
It's okay. I believe. I mean, there might have been one more. I don't know that stat off the top of my head, but. All right, let's look at snubs. I guess also in the directing category, we mentioned it earlier, Da 5 Bloods with Spike Lee. Nothing for Da 5 Bloods at all, including a lot of people were thinking Delroy Lindo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was submitting himself in Best Actor, if he had a better shot in Supporting Actor because of Chadwick Boseman kind of being the front runner. I don't know what it was, but a lot of people were talking about this performance. A lot of people had this number 1 on their snub list. And I definitely agree. I think he was the best part of Da 5 Bloods. I think the whole like ensemble, especially with him, was the part I liked the most. But
I agree. I think everyone thought that he was going to get a nomination, and because he was the best part of that movie. I think just with that kind of those final scenes there would be enough to kind of put him in this category, this echelon. But I don't know. Oscars are weird.
They're weird. No Mank for original screenplay, despite multiple nominations. 10 nominations, leading the pack. Didn't get screenplay though, and I feel like that makes it tough for me to believe it's going to win. And we've talked about it. Is this going to be Netflix's Irishman this year? Lots of nominations, not many wins. And
yeah, definitely.
I think there's something there. It's a film about a screenwriter. And it's structured very similarly to Citizen Kane. If you can't win over screenwriters, what's happening here? I guess it seems weird. And I love my math, and this year it's going to be really hard to predict. But At Ben's Oscar Math on Twitter, he breaks down everything. He has charts and numbers and stats, but he has had this stat that was pretty damning, I think, for Mank is 95% of Best Picture winners have a director's nom. 95% have screenplay nom, and 83% have film editing nom. Those are high statistics there. You need those three, to have a win, Best Picture. There's two films that have it there, have all three. Nomadland and Promising Young Woman.
Yeah.
So are those our front runners?
Could be. I think Nomadland is very, very high atop the list of possible winners for Best Picture here.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see if they can continue that buzz. Obviously, they've been winning Critics' Choice. They've been winning at the Golden Globes. Can they keep the buzz going for another month to get the win here at the end? It's definitely possible. This whole year, I think, is just going to be weird with, obviously, the timelines are screwed up, but like a lot of these films are more accessible. And now I'm sure we'll get people, because the ratings are going to be down this year. They just are. Mm-hmm. They are down for everything. And people complain about the movies, but it's like, sure, maybe the movies are smaller. They're not the bigger films, maybe. But there's no excuse for people not to be familiar with these films because most of them are readily available right now on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any of those streaming services, you can watch the majority of these films.
Yeah.
For free. I mean, except for your subscription. So, so there's no excuse to not do your homework this year. You can see Nomadland right now. It's on Hulu. Check it out. But no, man, Dark throwing shade in the chat. Maybe if they were actually interesting, we would watch them.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say there's a reason that people don't tend to watch Oscar movies. And the reason why they wanted to add the audience favorite is because going back to, Christopher Nolan and wanting the edits the right way and all this stuff. It's just like, dude, this movie, I'm going to sit through 3 hours and you're going to tell me that, someone takes a poop and then that's the movie. It's like, all right, cool.
What movie is that? Because
don't spoil
Nomadland,
Tenet, please.
I was going to say it's 2 hours. Justice League, Snyder Cut's 4 hours. Avengers Endgame, probably the winner of the Best Picture thing, is 3 hours long. Like,
as I heard,
did Nomadland star Thor and Iron Man next time? Like, I don't know.
I think they are technically nomads, don't they? Travel across planets.
Yeah, sure, but okay. I was hoping to get a little bit more of the fun nominees in like the screenplay categories. We did get a little bit. I'll mention it in a second here, but normally here is where you get like the fun ones, like the outliers, the ones that like I feel like Palm Springs could have got a nomination here in like original screenplay.
Yeah,
I feel like it could have, but but it didn't.
I mean, Borat got nominated.
Borat, the original, was nominated for adapted screenplay. It's nominated here again. I think it's one of the ones with the longest title. So if the film wins or if Maria Bakalova wins, they have to write that entire like title on the engraving thing. It's like a rule that they have
hilarious.
To do. And you got that, and then you have like I think one of the most like credited writers on a film for Borat to be nominated for one film. It's interesting. I mean, it's mostly an improv movie, but there is a story there. There is a through line, and I'm sure there's a writer's room pitching jokes and stuff like that. But I was excited to see Borat and Maria Bakalova for supporting actress. I was excited to see The Sound of Metal, Love. Is there anything you were excited to see, Kyle? Any surprises, snubs, anything like that?
I think we've mentioned all the ones that I had in mind, but I do like The Sound of Metal. I really like it. I think it's worth a look. I think it's one of those movies where I think it appeals even to like just a general audience. I think you become familiar with this world. You get put in with this world. I think it's a really well done film. So I highly recommend Sound of Metal if you have not seen it. Also, I'm a big Amanda Seyfried fan, so I'm glad that she got a nomination. I mean, I have no idea how her performance is, but I just like her, so I'm glad that she got some love. Because she deserves to be in this kind of echelon of actresses, I feel like. So
we had Rojo 36, our friend Nick Rojas in here. I feel like I've been putting off homework for months, and now the due date has been put in front of me. I have no strong thoughts on anything this year. Happy for our guy Stephen Young, though. So it's like, okay, yeah, Stephen Young. For Minari's in here. He's the first Asian American Best Actor nominee in the 93 years of the Oscars. So that's great. Yeah. Love Steven. From the Walking Dead days to I Think You Should Leave. He's all over. He's all over the place. But let's quickly bring up here one last thing. Z Milan on Instagram brought up, will Glenn Close's performance in Hillbilly LG be the best and the worst of the year? I think it's possible. I think it's quite possible. Because for Glenn Close, they love like the overdue Oscar. You never win for something that you should win for, if that makes sense. It's always like, oh, we screwed up 10 years ago. You should have won then, but we'll give it to you now for whatever bad movie, you know. Yeah. And she's 0 for 7 right now. This is her 8th nomination. So she could be 0 for 8 at the end of this. We'll wait and see. But a lot of people were saying, oh, she was going to win the year of the wife, and then Olivia Colman won instead.
She's up against Olivia Colman again. She
is, for kind of like the opposite here. She's now in The Father, a smaller film. Could it, and that's like so who knows? Let's see, Glenn Close was up for a Golden Globe, Critics' Choice. She's also up for SAG. But the Golden Globe winner is not here. And the Critics' Choice Award winner was Maria Bakalova. So it's going to be interesting. Are they going to go, with the legend of Glenn Close? Are they going to come in with the rookie, Maria Bakalova? Or are they going to go completely outside of it all and do something down the middle? I don't know.
We'll see. But I think this one's kind of going to be a hard one to pick.
Yeah, this is the one it really could go. This is the one that'll cost us the good, bad, and watchable bet, I think.
Probably.
All right, here. Well, that is it for the Oscars. We will definitely talk about predictions later on in April. But we have one more thing to do tonight. We have to go back in order to talk about it. So, guys, send us back.
Back in time.
We're back, baby.
Gotta get back in time.
I think you're starting to hit the timing. I think you need to work on the pacing of the words.
So, okay.
You'll get it
I'll
eventually.
take that note.
Now that you've gotten the start time down, you're getting more consistent. You now it's time to refine it.
The inflection. Okay. Do you want me to tell me how to read the line too, director? Okay,
Clem Fandango. All right. The Great Season 1. We're catching up on the Hulu series. We did episodes 1 through 3 last week. This week, episodes 4 through 6. The Great is a comedic drama about the rise of Catherine the Great from outsider to, again, spoiler alert, longest reigning female ruler in Russia's history. We're covering Moscow Mule, War and Vomit, and Parachute. Those are the 3 episodes tonight. All right. Got a lot to say again, but let's start off with John. What did you think of these 3 episodes of The Great?
I'm enjoying them. I last week I had based my thought on the 1.25 episodes I saw. I'm now caught up. I've watched all 6. And I think I still feel that momentum I'd kind of felt in the first episode. I don't know if I'm going as crazy over it as I did for like The Boys, but I am enjoying it, and I am not upset I have to watch 4 of them next week. I'm trying to figure out. I guess 2 weeks. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to fit those in, but I'm.
We got 2 weeks.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset that we're watching more. So I think that's where I stand. It's been good.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I enjoy the show, but I don't want to compare the 3 shows we've done our catch-up series on. Of the 3, The Boys in Industry are definitely higher for me, but I am enjoying watching The Great. There's some good moments here and there. There's some good character work. Kyle, what did you think of these 3 episodes?
I think it's still chugging along. It's still pretty decent. I felt like on the last episode we might be hitting the slow churn. It's like, all right, where are we shifting here? Where are we going next? It's like those mid-season episodes. It's one of those ones where it's like doesn't hold the weight that the previous 2 did. But overall, I think it's still well done. It's still the writing. The writing is clever, and the jokes are still there. Nicholas Holt's character makes me laugh, and I am weirdly in this show. I am rooting for the Empress, but I also find her annoying too at the same time. I don't know if you guys have that. Where like you want her to succeed, but also it's like
she makes a lot of dumb choices.
Yeah, that, and it's like crap or get off the pot. It's like let's move this thing along here. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of her, last week I kind of shocked both of you guys with the historical rumor spoiler that, well, Catherine died doing something with a horse, and we wondered if they're going to ever mention that on the series, maybe in the series finale. Episode 4 covers that rumor. Covers
pretty
it
quick into
right
the
into
episode too.
Yeah.
I was
We
like,
just
did
watched
Dave
5 more
plan
minutes.
this?
No, I didn't. And I'm just wondering now, are we just kind of doing this now, to get it out of the way, to kind of just make that joke, or are they planting a seed for the finale of like, oh, hey, what was that thing they said years ago about that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely brought it up for a reason here. It was very specific, that rumor. I had a Twitter poll, or not Twitter poll, it was on Instagram, and I asked, was I crazy with this rumor here? And it was funny. The younger folks didn't know of it, but then I got people chiming in. Like one of my friend's mom was like, "Yep, he's right." It's just like, so I don't know if it was like different age groups know about this or what here, but the rumor is spreading. She's trying to be nice to everyone to kind of make it stop, so people don't believe it. And there's like this dance scene or whatever. I don't know. They're all just dancing around, and they're making a fool of her. They're pushing her around. They're kicking her. They're tripping her. I feel like this is very gutsy of these women to do to Peter's wife. Peter's a pretty feared individual, and they're doing it now to his wife, not hiding it really. John, what do you think of that?
I agree. I kind of expected her to flip out a little bit and start yelling at people and demanding, do XYZ or whatever, but they didn't. I don't know. I feel like it didn't play out like it should have. But yeah, it was just weird that they were kind of like, they were just kicking her and slapping her, and it wasn't even, I mean, yeah, once is a mistake, but that was not once.
But you got to admit, it was by different people. So
still, I mean,
it goes to one of those. But again, she's not, I totally get what both of you are saying, but she's also at that time, I think, not in the best graces of Peter at the moment. And 2, what would you do if you were in a room full of people that, didn't like you? And then they could fall back on, oh, it's just an accident because everyone different was doing it, right? So maybe not even the episode before that, I mean, Peter was contemplating killing her. So so her stock, I don't think was
you gotta get Peter in the right mood. Sometimes it's like he's your friend, other times he wants you dead. But let's see, in episode 5, she goes to visit a battlefield, and you I love the contrast that the show set up between the pastel colors of their outfits and the macaroons or whatever they had there, and and then just the blood and mud of war,
Mm.
just the way that they did it just seemed like, yeah, two completely different worlds. And she wants to stop the war, and she almost gets the power to do so. She gets very close here because the husband of the woman Peter is having sex with, I don't know his name, I don't know like exactly his title.
Isn't it Gregor?
Gregor.
I think that's what it is.
But he goes off and poisons Peter's meal here, and it looks like Peter's out. It looks like he's down for the count, and it looks like, okay, looks like you're next in line, Catherine. And like immediately she speaks way too early before she even gets the position. She's like, all right, we're gonna stop the war, and everyone's like, what?
Who are
No, we're
you?
not. It's like,
Who
you
are
got it.
you?
Before you make policy, you can't commit on something here. You kind of have to play politics. And then once you get the position, then you can be like, all right. But
Yeah.
a little early. And that's one of the moves I feel like she makes a lot of dumb mistakes, I think Catherine does.
She's naive. She thinks everyone is on board with this whole plan, but the people are where they are in power because of the structures that are already in place. So why would they want to change that?
Yeah. And well, there's actually somebody else in front of the throne before
God,
Catherine there, Ivan. And man, that's it for Ivan.
Yeah, he's done.
I was not expecting that because like they set up this character in episode 1 or 2, and we talked about last week. We're like, oh, what are they gonna do with Ivan? Like, and well, that's it. He's dead.
Yes.
I'm not expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either, but I mean, it kind of pays off. I would be afraid of that little kid anyways. So it's probably better that they did kill him, because who knows what he would be like.
And then Peter wakes up, perfect timing at the end of that there, as soon as they kill the kid.
Yeah.
And I mean, he did have some of the best medicine. He had a dead rat hanging around his neck, told no blue foods. And there's one thing that I want to bring up here, because I've seen it all the time in these type of shows, the time period and stuff, with these masks, these like plague masks that these doctors wear. Especially now we're all wearing masks in our own different plague. What is the purpose of these? The long beaks, what's that? Is that supposed to maintain social distancing? Like, what is the reason of the beak?
I think, and I could definitely be wrong, is that they used to put flowers in there with the thought of that they would smell something good, and it would help them, not smell the plague or whatever, but that they would be smelling something good and it would help them not get sick. I believe and I think Dark's backing me up, that it would help cleanse the air as they were there helping, is I think what the point is.
Like they would store it in the beak, and then they themselves would smell it rather than the other people?
Yes, there would be a flower in that beak right up against their nose, basically.
That
Interesting.
makes
I mean,
sense.
it makes sense, but also, can you make it like less scary? Because if I was on my deathbed and I was dying, and I wake up and I'm like hazy, and all of a sudden I see like this like crow human in front of me, I'm like, okay, I'm dead. I'm done. This is the afterlife. Like, this is the Grim Reaper here. Put a smile on the bird mask at least. Make it a nice little robin or something, like. But make it this giant scarecrow nose. I don't know, but.
Yeah, I thought it had some kind of like biblical reference or something like that. I had no idea. I just always assume with stuff like that back in the day that it relates back to the Bible in some way.
Dark says it was to symbolize a crow, which is a symbol in Catholicism as a purifier.
See, it goes back to the Bible. It goes back to religion. So,
but I love this now that Peter has like this food taster, and like anytime he wants to eat something, he has to like have her eat it and like wait an hour. And there was even that one time when, he's like, "Oh, these are," like, she says, "Those are poison." And he's like, "Well, we don't know for sure." She's like, "No, I know for sure they're poison." It's like, well, and it's like, can you still? And it's just like, Peter, come on, man.
Dude, some wild stuff happened in that last episode.
Yeah.
We find out why Mariel is where she is, and that is a interesting.
Yeah. Oof. It's almost worse than the horse. Explain that one.
Yeah. Could you imagine just somebody coming in and being like, holding your dead mother's skeleton, saying, "Yeah, she's a screamer," and then throwing.
I wouldn't even want to get close to it, let alone pretend to do what he did with it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Why wasn't you at least wearing the scarecrow mask in that, so you have those flowers to make it smell better at least? That'd be the time, but
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yikes. Let's see here. I love how Peter also kills like everyone associated with the meal. Where it's like, well, this person picked the strawberries, this person made the meal, this person did this person like, drove the strawberries. It was just like any person that was associated was killed. And the one person that wasn't, the one person that did it was Gregor or whatever his name is here. And I'm actually starting to really like this character. We see, I think the dog died and it was also eating whatever Peter was eating. And I love someone next to him puts it all together and it's like, wait a minute, Peter was poisoned. It's like, well, he's like, how did you get to that? And like, it literally explains it back to him. It's like, well, the dog died. He got sick. They ate the same thing. And I'm getting like strong, like Tom from Succession vibes.
Yeah.
Burger. Like he's playing it like dumb, like on purpose. Like it's just like, well, how did you get to that? And like, and there's this one line, which I definitely can't say. I'm going to have to really clean it up here. Don't take it out of context, but like the way he responds to it. Peter says, "This morning I ate a fig out of his wife's and now we are here." And like, there's just like a quick, like, what? Like from the husband, like, wait, what did you do? What did you do to my wife? Wait, what? Can we go back to that? Like, but
oh my god.
It's such like a throwaway, but yeah. The one character I'm not feeling though, I don't know if it's just me, I'm not feeling Orlo. I'm not feeling that character really. I kind of get bored in his scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. There's a couple of characters that I find kind of annoying. I find Leo annoying. It's just like, all right, dude, give it like, oh my god. It's almost like too like Prince Charming going on here with that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could see it.
Annoying.
I could see it. Yeah, but just the whole thing with Orlo was like, it seemed like a bit of like he had a jealous vibe seeing Catherine with the lover there, and then in episode 6, he has to come back from like a broken carriage ride, and it's like accidental death. He kills somebody, and then there's a real kill, and I'm like, what are we doing here? I just anytime like give me more Peter, give me more Catherine, give me more Gregor. I'm not feeling that character really.
Yeah.
Too late to be developing him.
Yeah. Some small things I'm going to run through that I just like that I've noticed. That I love the running joke of constantly breaking glasses after each drink. Anytime they drink something, they just throw it. The very Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort just throwing it.
Yeah.
I love that they just play games and like sports inside that like hallway area. They just do whatever they playing like wall ball, just throwing things against. And then there's like the end credit songs, the choices that they make, because it's always like a contemporary song. And in the end of the 6th episode, we see the parachute on the pig there that they're throwing, and he just wants to do it for science. What was it? What did I say?
It's on the dog.
On the dog, or whatever it was, and he throws it for science, and it just throws it in the air. And then of course we end with "Blinded Me with Science." And it's like, okay, like perfect, but.
That science thing was hilarious because he has no idea what it means. He's just saying it. And so what's clever about the writing in that instance was that the servant or whatever was like, I don't know if it has enough velocity and blah, blah, all this stuff that clearly he probably wouldn't know either, but just it pays off for the joke because then Peter's like, I don't know what any of that means. And then just toss the dog. It's perfect. It's just perfect. Yeah. It's really good writing.
Yeah, and that's how it ends. Episode 6. We got 4 more episodes left of season 1. Obviously, I think we're all still invested. We're going to keep going through the season and finish it up. But we're going to finish it up in 2 weeks. We're off next week. We're taking a break. We normally don't do this, but a lot of things going on in our lives. We got to take a week off. We're going to be back Tuesday, March 30th on Twitch. We're going to be talking about the Falcon and Winter Soldier premiere, and of course, finishing these 4 episodes of The Great. So yeah, an extra episode or 2, but we have 2 weeks now to watch it. So you can squeeze in those 3 or 4 episodes of something in those 2 weeks. Don't forget to vote, though, in our March Madness bracket. We're in round 3. It started yesterday. We got the Elite 8. We're trying to get to the final 4 right now for the film franchise bracket. The next time we record live, it'll be the final round. So make sure you're following us on social media so you don't miss that middle round there. And you can vote to get the final film franchise in there. And yeah, you can find those links on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram at Dual Redundancy, and of course on the show notes for these episodes. Episodes are available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, the blog, dualredundancy.com. And we are live Tuesday nights on Twitch, twitch.tv/dualredundancy. We will be back Tuesday, March 30th. Got all that? Got it.
And you're doing a 4-hour personal review of the Snyder Cut, right?
I'm doing live commentary with you. Yeah. The 2 of us are going to be doing it.
The 2 of us? Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, sorry. I think you volunteered.
I might have to call out sick then.
Okay. Yes. But no, guys, I couldn't do it without you guys. I appreciate all the hard work, watching all these things, breaking down everything with me. John directing the show. Couldn't do it without you.
Sure.
All right. Until next time, 2 weeks from now, I'm David Allen.
I'm John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Dual Redundancy. Goodbye, everybody.